Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back. Episode 20, believe it or not. We've made it all the way to episode 20, guys, of the Duntown Show. I want to jump in here and just thank everybody for continuing to listen to the show. It's built a little bit of traction. We've let the first 19 episodes kind of sit out there and soak now for a while. There's a few things going on with the studio and how everything I want to have it set up for the podcast going forward. So we're working on that. I apologize if you hear a little bit of a droning in the background. We are running an air conditioner outside this wall over here, and it's pretty noisy. So we had to move our location indoors, guys. It's just so hot lately. We're going to get into a little bit of the heat, the dry heat, and everything that's been going on. But how's everybody doing? I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you like my little backdrop here we have set up. You know, it's a little something. Nothing too crazy. I got my OCMGA shirt hanging there that I wore to the one tournament, and then I've got my American flag. I always like to have a flag in the background. So we try to keep it a little original for you guys, see what we can do. Outcast Services LLC, guys. I don't know if you've been following me on Instagram or not. Check us out over there. We just got done building some security cages for a high school project where they're basically going to put these cages over the condensers and they can swing open to be serviced and then swing closed and locked, just to kind of keep the kids from crawling all over them and people won't steal them and you know, just pretty much vandalize them. They'll take them open thinking they're full of copper, or, you know, the kids will kick them. They'll kick balls into them. Just whatever the case is. So they had us build these for them, and it was very strenuous because they needed them done like as soon as possible, just like everything always does need to be. But dude, we ground it out pretty good, man. We didn't stop for 4 weeks from when we got the job to when we completed it, besides 4th of July weekend. So we went, you know, on a little 4th of July thing. We'll get into that. And it was a grind, dude. The hardest part about the whole thing is they didn't want to wait on the powder coat, so we had to either spray paint or roll paint or try and shoot paint them with like a compressor. And the painting turned into a nightmare, dude. It was so hot outside, and we ended up doing a roll-on style steel paint that works really good typically, but it was like gumming up, and it wouldn't dry because these guys are in such a rush. And I told them, next time, you know what we're going to do, dude, is we'll give you guys the cages and then install them, and then I'll go out and I'll either paint them on site or, you know, wait and account for powder coating, because it's going to be a way better quality. It's going to be way more even, a lot less strenuous on me, who I just want to be able to fabricate and keep going. You know what I mean? I don't want to spend days and days and days priming and painting, and then it's hard to send that much spray paint up into the air unless you're into a booth. So I have to try and set up like a mischief booth, and then with these cages being so big, it didn't work out. So we ended up roll painting them. Long story short, I had to do a bunch of touch-up paint and stuff to them. So that was kind of the hard side of everything. Believe it or not, the welding and all the fabrication and stuff was non-stop. We ground it out for days straight. And they turned out really well. And then we've been doing the blasting service, which is basically we go to these places that use steel blast machines to blast like large steel parts, whether they're removing chemicals or whether they're just blasting a clean surface so they can be sent to paint after they've been fabricated. Whatever the case is, they use these blasting machines, and they constantly they eat themselves alive. I mean, from the inside out, they literally blast themselves to death. I mean, they're made of all these crazy metals, and we have to go in there and do a bunch of stuff. And we just did an emergency repair, and we got a guy's auger that had snapped back up and running right at the main bearing. But you could see all that stuff over at Outcast Services on Instagram. It's Outcast Services LLC, because there's another Outcast Services on there, and he's not giving the name up, but that's okay, because we're going to roll with the LLC anyways, and let people know, you know, we're legit and we're doing what we can. But yeah, the cages got done. The blasting's a really dirty, nasty job, but there's really not a lot of service companies out there doing it. So we're going to take advantage of that and see if maybe it can go fully our operation. Right now we're basically being subcontracted to do it. which is great. You still make good amount of money. But once we can invoice the client directly, then it's a whole new ball game. I mean, then, we'll be able to get a lot more guys on the team and have a little bit more of a service truck as opposed to just working out of our pickups loaded down with all our tools. But it's fun, dude. I like going out there. I like doing all that stuff because it's something different, but it's still along the lines of what we like to do, building the trucks. We do have a shop now. It's in Pomona. It's a big shop, but right now we are just in the whole setup process. It's a lot more strenuous than you think to set up a shop to have flow and be able to have enough room to bring in trucks and work on them. And my partner actually got popped by the city at his house, so he had to store a bunch of stuff there just so he could get the city to sign off on his property. And then now we can kind of clean up our area and get back in there. But we've been real busy with the blasting work. We got the transmission cooler and the power fans, cooling fans on the Blazer. The project that'll never end, guys. I promise it will. Trying to get it out of here. We're going to oil prime the motor this next week and go from there. See if we can work that out. Let me click here to do not disturb because I have a feeling that shit's about to get crazy and we don't want to lose our show here, guys. So anyway, let's get back on track. Check us out again, Instagram. We're going to move on from that. The podcast studio update right now, dude, we're actually working on adding a few things. We want to get some additional equipment. I want to be able to get better lighting. I want to have a solid backdrop. We're going to actually insulate the area and close the garage door permanently with a side door and put in air conditioning and make it nice for next summer. And also for in the winter, just to kind of deafen the sounds out there. It's crazy. If you listen to some of the first podcasts, you can actually hear the thunder and lightning in the background. And I didn't even know it, but it picks it up on the speaker. And so we're trying to work on those things because if the podcast is going to grow and it's actually going to be something, it needs to be in more of an environment where I can have people come into the studio, sit down with me in person. Whether they want to bring their own equipment or use the equipment that I have, it doesn't really matter. There's all of that is available and, all the right plugs and everything so that it can be more of a legitimate studio setup. That's just really what I'm going for. I have no problem with doing it out there at the bar, the OG setup. I love it. But right now, dude, it's 120 in that garage. There's a lot of post security cage build stuff all over, so we don't want to we want it to be as professional as possible. So we got this badass wall built. See this wall we built? Okay. Yeah, we don't do politics on this channel, dude. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? That shit ain't funny. But yeah, so also co-host and guest is going to be huge, but the thing is I want to get it to where the show is either every week or every other week an episode is going to drop, whether it's me and a co-host and another guest or guests that come on and just me. It doesn't matter. I want to at least get the show to a consistent release date and time every week. So if it's going to be on Wednesdays at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, boom, it drops. So then you already know, cool, I could either listen to it Wednesday night or Thursday morning going into work, or whenever you're doing some bullshit, or whenever you want to listen to it. You know what I mean? You know when it's available. And then, especially if you like to watch the YouTube version, I want to get it to the level where I feel like a lot of the top podcasts and stuff kind of do. That's kind of where they do their business. You know what I mean? That's the range they're in. And I'm all down with it. I love my setup outside. If I could just get the garage a little bit more climate controlled, and that would help with the environment with like the pincher bugs in the winter and spiders, and you know what I mean? It gets a little bit, it's a garage, at the end of the day. It's just a hangout spot where we watch football. So we're going to convert it more into a lifestyle room, like a studio / hangout man cave type thing where we can still do all of our sports and entertainment, but at the flash of a thing, I can set up our studio and be rocking and rolling for you guys. So that's kind of where we've been at. That's kind of been a little bit of the delay, and we've just been extremely busy with the company, guys. So, Good to hear. Good to hear episode 20 is back. You know, I thought maybe we were going to have a guest lined up. I know that's kind of a reoccurring thing. I should get shirts made that says I was going to have a guest. But actually, my buddy Aaron actually just got a bunch of equipment. So he's working on setting all that up and kind of getting geared up for the podcast side of life, dude. He's going to get into it with us. And I golf with the guy. We watch a lot of sports together. And you know, we've hung out for a long time. And we both like to drink beers, get after it. And he's just a good dude. And, of course, we'll have Steel Valley, Still Golfing. You know, he'll be on probably regularly. We want to get him a setup. But see, that's why I want to have the setup in my garage where, hey, dude, you have a podcast. So I'll say I'm going to go on your podcast or you're going to come on my pod. You know, we do the back and forth thing. I want to be actually to have somebody be able to come into the studio, you know, come over. We're going to have lunch after or dinner after whatever time we're recording, or maybe we'll have dinner before and kind of chit chat about what the show's going to be about and then actually go into it. Like I want it to be a little bit of a community around the Duntown show. You know what I mean? Let's take a ride downtown. And coming up next, guys, we're going to get right into some keep or sweep. And it's fucking funny because we're talking about all this weather and everything that's going on right now. And I'll be honest with you, I like the heat. I love the summer. I was over the gloom. It was gray. We talked about all that. And I'm super excited about it. But what I'm not a big fan of is the humidity. And I guess I never really realized how bad the humidity is in the Inland Empire, Orange County, you know, LA, all of this. It's like there's this layer of just heavy, thick air that is trapped. And you know what? I was up in Laughlin for 4th of July. And we come home and I was like, dude, my air conditioner went out in my truck. So I drove home from Needles with the windows down. Me and my wife, dude, we left there, we got home, and we just looked like we were air fried, bro. Our hair, everything was stuck straight back, dude. We were all crispy. Lay's called. They wanted to sponsor us. And basically, we just rode it out, but it actually got worse as soon as we came down the Cajon Pass because the fucking humidity hit. Ugh, I was like, dude, peeling clothes off. You know what I mean? We had an ice chest in the middle full of water. I'm dunking a rag in there, dude, putting it over my head. I mean, it was absolute chaos down here. So we're keeping the dry heat. We're sweeping humidity and smog. And you know what? Right after the 4th of July, when they let off every single bomb you could imagine here in the area, it's like there was no air and all of the smoke and everything got stuck in the air. It was just been trapped for weeks. Excuse me, you get that air quality notice on your phone. Warning, your area has extremely bad air quality. And you're like, oh, okay, well, let the area know. What the fuck, dude? All right, do we have to pay rent this month then? You know, like, what are we doing here? Are we on Mars? But yeah, so I'm keeping that. I'm sweeping that. River trips, all right, Lake Mojave, Topak, Laughlin, the Avi, maybe you go down to Havasu. Do you like any of that stuff? Some guys are down in Parker this weekend. We've got family right now headed out to Fort Mojave area where they'll be hanging out and probably getting after it down there because at Topak, they go down to the Topak Gorge and hang out at the bar right there. If you guys haven't gone down to the river, you need to go check it out. Anywhere from Havasu all the way up to Lake Mojave, it's a blast. Laughlin's right there on the water. We do the Davis camp. We went for 4th of July. We were up there like a total of like 3-4 days, whatever it equaled being. Super hot, beautiful, dry heat, and just ice cold river water. It really doesn't get much better than that. You know, you're barbecuing, flat grilling, breakfast, lunch. Sometimes we're there long enough to have dinner, you know, or late dinner, whatever, or early dinner, late lunch. And all the kids, everybody, they just get after it, dude. They play in the water. We got a couple sea-doos and stuff, so they'll run up and down the river. And we hang out there for a few days. Then you go back to your hotel and you kind of reset up. You got to be up super early. You know, you got to really get in there and get after it. It's not just some, you know what I mean? You got to be ready to fucking rock and roll, dude. So, yeah, check it out, guys. If you haven't been out there, be ready for the heat. It's not something you're going to say, hey, you know what? I always hear about this river and this and that. Look, it's only 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Let's just go check it out. Even if we drive back the same day, I mean, that obviously that's killing an entire day driving. You wouldn't really even have time. But, you know, go and stay one night. You got to really, really account for the heat and the hills and stuff you have to climb going out there. So if your car is just runs really good around town, whatever, make sure you check all your fluids, your tires, everything before you go out there, because if something will happen to a car, it'll happen when you go out to the river. I don't know, something about crossing that desert, long, dry, hot route across the desert just to make it to this little river. So you really got to be into it, guys. If you're looking for something a little more local, go down to the beach, check out the beach, go up to your local mountains. A lot of times there's a stream or a river you can go to, and they're not too hard to find. But yeah, if you're going to go out to the river, definitely be ready, guys. Okay? So we got a good segment coming up here, guys. Sports news. Now, this is, of course, our favorite segment. And now, not only that, aren't we getting a little closer? I'm sure I'm just blocking the camera with my whole arm, huh? Aren't we getting closer to football yet, dude? Please, can we go full-time talk about football? Not yet, because we're still looking at the MLB teams, the MLB team tracker. Angels are like sitting at .430, dude. Last time I looked, they were 43-57, but the Dodgers are 60-41. Okay, so they're sitting just under a 600, so they're doing okay. National League leaders right now, you got the Phillies sitting at a 630 win percentage, Dodgers at 594, and the Brewers at 570. American League, you got the Orioles at 606, so they're up there pretty good. The Guardians at 596, and the Astros, cheating motherfuckers, huh? Sorry, any Astro fans out there, dude, go ahead, leave a negative like, and unsubscribe. But anyway, that's about all you're going to get for MLB Team Tracker, dude. I don't really, go too much further than the Angels are typically always down and out. So it's, you watch and you see a few, I'll see, Angels won, and like they're showing all the hype video and everything from it. And then it's like, dude, we've lost 57, 58 games. Like, yeah, it's tough. I mean, I invest so much time and energy into the NFL, like so much time into the NFL. We're going to be doing our fantasy league thing coming up soon. I'm probably going to end up in at least 2 fantasy leagues this year. And then that cranks out so hard. And then right before you know it, the Lakers are back. They're already playing like, December or whatever it is. So it's boom, dude. Stuff just starts to really compile. So by the time baseball's here, I'm already so inundated off the tail end of football, going into like all of the drama of the NBA into this early summer, that by the time all the football's left, I'm like, dude, it's crazy, bro. And then the NBA, the finals, all the way to the final championship game, and it's a long process, dude. I was kind of blown away because I'm so dialed into where we watched every single game that I was like, damn, dude. When they go to like a game 7 or a game 6 in an early series, it's just pushing everything longer and longer. It goes weeks and weeks and weeks. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not complaining. Speaking of some basketball, we got the Olympic basketball team. Did you guys see any of this? Or is anybody even... I mean, I guess somebody's got to be. I mean, they've been pretty damn dominant. LeGoat is just unbelievable, dude. LeBron James. I don't know what to say at the age of 40... playing 20 some years in the league. You guys know the breakdown on this guy, but he just it's just fucking crazy, dude. He's just so good. I mean, he's still so good, so much energy. He's up and down that court, he's flexing on guys, he's showing these youngs. I mean, he is just playing as if he put one of those rubber masks on where he looked like some 20-year-old kid running up and down the court, you kind of might be like, he's a little slow for a 20-year-old. Well, then he takes his mask off and the dude's 40. Oh, shit. Dude's a baller for 40 years old, dude. So yeah, dude, let's go check it out. I really want them to get the gold. You know, at first it was like, oh, they're blowing all these teams out by 20, and then there was a couple of close games. LeBron James, you know, coming back to save their ass against Syria or Libya, whoever it was. It was pretty fucking crazy. July 28th. What's the date today, guys? 26. So the next game is on July 28th, and they're playing Serbia. But I can't believe this team, dude. You got LeBron James, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Joel Embiid, Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, and Derek White. Like, fuck, could you imagine if that was like how somehow they drafted and put together a team in the NBA? Like, if that was the Lakers going into next season, who's beating that team, dude? You can't. You know what I mean? You'd still have a lot of guys out there like Jaylen Brown could get with like Nikola Jokic and, you know, a few of these guys that are spread out across other country teams right now in the Olympics. But still, dude, this is a fucking rock and roll of a team. So come on, USA, let's get the gold. They're looking good. We're going to definitely tune in July 28th for Serbia. So supposedly Serbia can shoot the three, dude. I don't know. You guys tell me. Supposedly Serbia can shoot the three. I mean, we're going to find out real quick here. All right, so NFL preseason, dude. We're going to get into some NFL right now, guys. We're going to get into a little bit of NFL. We're going to see what's coming up in preseason. What does the beginning of week 1 look like? And then what are some of the hot topics kind of going on around a few of the teams? And I might have fumbled a little bit. Get it? Earlier in the fucking season when I was telling you guys I'm only going to track the Saints. Well, I realized like that's not really good for the brand, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of like not true. I like too many other teams. There's too many other controversies around some teams that you just got to track it and talk about it all season long. So we're going to do that. And we're going to get into the teams that we're going to track. And of course, we're going to jump around and we'll talk about a lot of the teams and stuff that's going on with some of the other new players that are involved. But I think as far as tracking teams, I think you guys are going to like the list. Good water, dude. Kirkland. Okay. Shout out Jamie. He loves Kirkland. So let's get into it, man. Let's check it out. NFL preseason schedule, guys. It's going to start on Thursday, August 14th. All right. And that's going to be preseason week 1, I guess. Yeah. So then week 2, they're calling it August 9th through the 11th. And then it's going to take you to August 15th through the 18th for week 3. And then August 22nd through the 25th for week 4. So it's all of the month of August. You're going to see all little backup quarterbacks. But see, that's where I'm excited because they might do a little Spencer Rattler in there. And we'll get to see. What if he just comes out and he's just foom, 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 foom. You know, sewing the needle, dude. Just fucking Gatling gun style, bro. Best quarterback you've ever seen play the game. Calm down, Tim. Regular season basically is going to start. So starts Thursday, September 5th at 5:20. And that's going to be the Kansas City versus Baltimore. That's the first Thursday, right? That's the first Thursday night game. The first game of week 1 is Kansas City versus Baltimore at 5:20 p.m., dude. That's going to be a hell of a game to start the season. Just an absolute Taylor Swift kickoff of a go-around. And could you imagine, dude, if she's there at the first game and it's already the Taylor, the whole season, it's going to be crazy, dude. Unfortunately, Kansas City didn't make it onto our team tracker. But teams we're going to be tracking, week 1, we got the Saints, and their first game is September 8th at 10 a.m. versus Carolina Panthers. The Niners week 1, so we're tracking the Niners, and week 1 they have to play September 9th at 5:15 versus the Jets. So it looks like they're going to have a night game opening up their season, guys. Brock Purdy versus guess who's back? A-Rod, Aaron Rodgers. He's back in the building, guys. Is he even going to make it past this one game? You know, could you imagine? He's done if he doesn't. He'll go down as like just should have drank more milk if I've ever seen it. Another team we're going to be tracking, guys, is the Chargers, because I'm going to some Chargers games this year. SoFi Stadium. Shout out SoFi Stadium. Bitchin' Stadium. I'm going to be going there watching some of the Chargers games. So if you guys are Chargers fans, maybe we can get together and go watch a game. And if you're not a Chargers fan, maybe you want to go. Maybe they're going to play your team. For example, they'll be playing the Raiders for week 1. And that's going to be a September 8th, 10 o'clock game, or 1:05 game. And another team we're going to track just because you have to, it's the Cowboys. The drama, just the charcuterie board around that team, it's too good not to track them. Fuck the Cowboys, I know, but not necessarily. Hey, you know what? They got some good players, dude. Anyway, they're going to be playing the Browns at 1:25. So September 8th, if you want to tune into the Cowboys' first game, they'll be playing the Browns. We'll see what happens over there. Is Deshaun Watson back? Should I go for Deshaun Watson in my fantasy? I don't think so, because I don't know that you'll ever be able to really trade him. You know, even if he does okay, I mean, unless he does really, really good and somebody's starting quarterback goes down. But like, say I also had like I don't know, let's just say a Brock Purdy, or, you know, let's say a Lamar Jackson, or I have like a Joe Burrow. But see, Joe Burrow's another one that I'm not sure about yet. Like, you know, I noticed he did dye his hair and he's got the Slim Shady look going. So he's kind of like, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? So I don't know what he's going to do with all of that. But again, I wouldn't mind having him as a backup, Deshaun, but then we'll see what happens. So Browns versus Cowboys week 1. And then obviously Raiders. So we're going to track Saints, Niners, Chargers, Cowboys, Raiders, because those are good teams. They got a lot of drama. Chargers got Harbaugh now. We're going to see what's going to happen with that, dude. You know, Saints have made a lot of moves. That's my team. The 49ers continue to go to either the championship round or the Super Bowl. Or what. Are they going to get the crown this year? Is this the year? What's going to happen with Brandon Ayuk? We don't know yet. So Raiders versus the Chargers again at 1:05, September 8th. Some hot topics that we've noticed, guys, coming out of the NFL training camp. I don't know if you guys are looking at any of this stuff or not. The NFL training camp right now is open. So obviously, it's the return of 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers. Wow, 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers is back to the Jets, post Achilles tendon. That's going to be a huge storyline, and I think it's kind of cool they stuck him, or the Jets, against the 49ers in a night game week 1, because I'm already glued to the TV, dude. I'm already going to go out back after this and go sit out there and just wait for the game to come on. So that's going to be dope. That's had a lot of media around it. Of course, you know, they're watching him in practice. How's he walk? I kind of watched a couple videos, and he kind of almost has like this, like, God, please don't rip on me any minute feel. Like, I know he's King Tut and everything, and he's been to the tombs and done tea, but I just really don't want his Achilles to rip like on night 1. At least get to like go like 13-0, and then fucking he goes to play the Saints and they just pound that little into the ground. The start of a new era in Chicago, guys. I do want to do a team tracker on the Bears a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. If we put it into the pod, that's great. I'm sure we'll pick a whole bunch of teams. At some point, we're going to rag on every team out there, or we're going to celebrate that team. And that could be the Bears with rookie Caleb Williams trying to live up to being the number 1 pick. And you know what? I think he might. I was pretty skeptical, to be honest. I felt a little bit like, I don't know. He kind of had a little bit of like a Dak Prescott, kind of like a Derek Carr, just that kind of like, really, really good college quarterback, but then gets to the pros and then it's just kind of like a, what the fuck happened, dude? You know what I mean? But I can't necessarily say that about Dak Prescott. He's a pretty decent, above average, good quarterback. But we won't know who to compare him to until we watch him play. And I think they're pretty excited about him over there. I know the Bears have put, a few people around him that could possibly make him better. And we'll see what happens. So I'm going to be stalking the Bears because it could be their year they beat the Packers. And if they do, with Jordan Love over there, who's going to be, I think, a phenomenal Green Bay Packers quarterback, it's going to be interesting. I think he only played 9 games last season, Jordan Love. So, and they still beat the Bears. Hello. Joe Burrow has a new look. We talked about it. He's got blonde hair. But I guess he's also been performing very well at camp. They said that he's having one of the better camps that they've seen him have. He came into last season and he was kind of playing through an injury. You could tell he didn't have any emotion. He was very just had that concerned look on his face, and then they stuck his doppelganger in there to finish out the season, and then theoretically for the most part, Joe Burrow played pretty well, even with the injuries and stuff he had. I thought he played decent. So I'm excited to see him. Dude, I had him on my fantasy. I took Joe Burrow right out of the gate. As soon as it was my pick, boom, I took Joe Burrow right off the table. Just because I thought last year it was going to be Joe Cool's year. I don't think Joe Cool's out of the picture. I don't think he's dead. I think he's going to have a really good year with the Bengals, and I think he's going to bounce back. I think we're going to be really surprised. The Saints, Alvin Kamara, still no contract, but he does sign, he does show up to the training facility, and he had kind of posted a picture with Marshawn Lynch, kind of don't find me like you guys did to Marshawn. I'm here, But they haven't given him a contract yet, extension or anything like that. But in his press conference, he says, man, I want to be a Saint. I want to retire a Saint. I'm not demanding nothing from nobody. I just want to make a little money and continue to play for you guys. And shit, dude, if he could do that, I'd be one happy mother, because if I see Alvin Kamara on any other team, dude, it's literally going to be like my wife left me, dude. So more news surrounding the NFL to come all season long, guys. I know we're just getting into it. I'm going to start pushing the topic. I think even though we weren't going to talk about NFL at all, out of 20 episodes, I probably still talked at least something about the NFL, probably at about 17 of those episodes, maybe more. I love it. You guys love it. I get great response about, we love the NFL stuff. We like when you do the money lines, because I'm going to get into player props and just get into some cool stuff that hopefully people like. And that's where the new studio and having more people to shoot the shit with and bounce things off of is really, really going to spark the interest of the crowd, of the masses, and they'll come flooding in, guys. Okay, and we're just going to have one giant podcast one day with 60 mics, dude. Okay? Let's go into some golf news. Do you guys even watch golf anymore, or is golf over with? It's not over with yet, especially if you watch Live Golf, because Live Golf right now, the current team leaders is the number one team is the Crushers. DeChambeau, he's been playing pretty damn well, dude. He's really perfecting his drive. This really long, hard-hitting ball that he hits, he's really starting to get to where he can control it pretty well, and he can scramble like nobody, dude. I really like Bryson DeChambeau a lot. In second place is the Fireballs GC with Sergio Garcia, who obviously won in Spain, I believe, didn't he? Fucking A, dude. Crazy, man. And number 3, you got the Torque with Joaquin Niemann and the boys. You got Rippers GC sitting in 4th with Cameron Smith. Number 5 is the Stinger GC with Luis Oosthuizen. And the next event, guys, is going to be the United Kingdom. It's supposed to be a pretty damn good event. The course, I checked it out. It looks really, really cool. And it kicks off at 6:15 a.m. our time, July 26th through the 28th. So today, it kicked off today, guys. So we will definitely be watching that this weekend and keeping up on that. PGA News, a lot of the big events are kind of done for the year, but there's still some good golf coming up. You're still going to see a lot of all the same guys playing. Like next, we've got the 3M Open Twin Cities in Minnesota. It's the 25th through the 28th, so they are currently playing right now and working their way through that. The player odds, I took a couple of picks out there. There's still time. You can still bet on this anytime throughout the weekend. You'll have to check the current numbers, as I'm sure they'll change. Heading into the weekend, you had Tony Finau at plus 1,000. You had Sahith Theegala at 2,200. Keegan Bradley at 3,500. Beau Hossler at plus 6,600, and the big one, Taylor Moore, at plus 8,000. So tune in this weekend. Let's see if any of my hits or players hit. I'll post this up later on the Instagram there, the Duntown Show on Instagram, guys. You want to go over there and follow us, because I do a lot of cool stuff. I'm going to get into the NASCAR segment, but I'll talk to you more about what we do on Sundays over there. And then I'll go ahead and I'll put up my picks. So it's Tony Finau, Keegan Bradley, Beau Hossler, Sahith Theegala, and Taylor Moore are the guys that I wanted to see take it this weekend down in Minnesota there. So go ahead and watch that. It should be on a local network. Pretty easy to get to. MGA post round, man. We just did the Bradish Open. We did it at the Nicholas Tournament course out there, PGA West, La Quinta. Absolute beautiful course. Again, dry heat. I loved every second of it. Didn't bother me. I still had my double screwdriver to start the day. Drank my 6 Miller Lights on the course, and just had a shot of Fireball. Okay. And I was fine, dude. Post round, hung out, drank some water, whatever. It's so hot out there, you really can't even catch a buzz. Kicked it with the guys for the post round show. Absolute blast. Some interesting events took place on the golf course that I'm not at liberty to speak about, but I can guarantee you they'll get worked out. And, there was a sheriff, and Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, and then, so a couple of guys got in an entanglement, which you could probably hear a whole shitload more about on the Matt Bigham and Kenny Carlson over there at Bogies for Breakfast show. All right, we're going to shout out some people today. Matt Bigham and Kenny, you guys are great part of the league. Go check out some of the post round stuff that's going to be coming up, because that's where I'm sure you guys are going to hear the full drama unfold of exactly what went down that day with the sheriffs at PGA West and all this stuff. So there'll be some spicy information, hopefully I'm not letting the cat out of any bags here, and if they don't talk about it, I don't even know what you're talking about. But yeah, dude, that was such a great round. I placed 10th place that day. The course was great. It was beautifully manicured. The rough was deep. I mean, I lost 2 balls, dude, that I literally drove right up to where the ball went in the ground, hit the rough, gone. Fucking 3 or 4 people are walking around, dude. They're looking around. I'm like, dude, what? It's not Easter, dude. We gotta go. Like, it killed us, dude. It killed us. We lost balls in plain sight sometimes, and that's just these pro courses. I mean, even the professionals have that guy that'll run out and stick the little flag in the ground so the guy knows right where to go, because otherwise he'd never find it, or the pace of play would be so bad they'd have to move it to like 6-day rounds. And so we just had to keep moving, but all in all, I still scored well enough. The members there, okay, the clubhouse was great, the store was great, the members there, they're a bunch of pussies, and I'm not going to get into it, but I'm just going to leave it there. They're not all of them, but a lot of them are this stuck up, like they know you're some fucking tournament that came in, because 90% of these dudes are rolling up in their own golf carts, and they all, oh, hey, Carol, hey, Bill, hey, Tom, hey, Jim, hey, hey, Marie, how you doing? Hey, Jesus, ¿qué pasó, man? How's everything? Oh, good. They know all the other members, but if you ain't, it's kind of like, they kind of give you that side eye, and it's great, because we had the baddest little back private room inside the clubhouse for the post-round ceremony, so I know that was pissing people off. Yeah, they thought second when they wanted to fuck with the OCMGA. A couple of shout outs, guys. Steel Golfing, Ish. He placed number 1. He took home the big check, battled through the heat. Close, came in real close with, I think, Kenny just one point behind him, I believe. We're going to show you here a photo of the big check and Ish holding it. So there you go. You guys can see that. Then here's a picture of the trophy. I always like to try and stick that in there so you guys can see that. We're going to shout out Jamie here, dude. What a great partner. Great ball striker, dude. Fun guy to hang out with for the day. We shoot the shit about all kinds of stuff and just play our rounds. You know, and I like to play with him because I feel like we play real similar, and it's just good, clean golf. Like, we're not trying to, you know what I mean? It's just good. It's a good time. It doesn't have to be so fucking competitive. I can go out there and drink some beers, hit the ball, get it down the line, play decent, and have a good day, and not be stuck in some situation where, luckily with this crew, though, the OC, MGA, I don't really have that problem with any of the guys. Typically get along with them all pretty good. DNG, doubles or nothing. Guy shows up. He always puts out the work. He plays really well. I forget what place he came in, but he was up there in the top 3 or 4 or 5. I mean, he did really well. Always has the GoPro. And I tell you what, he nailed this 40-foot putt, dude, I think for birdie, and we just lost it. I mean, it was a badass putt. And you know what? It was so cool because it was one of the times we just didn't set the camera up, which is fucking badass in a way because that just leaves it as what it is. We were there, we seen it, and you can leave it at that. But in the moment, it was so badass, dude. Of course, we wished we had the camera set up so we could post it later or whatever, but no, it was too cool to be a part of that. So great teammate, and he also took home the long drive. He bombed that thing, dude. He piped that thing down the fairway. So good job, good on you, brother. Matt, Big Ham, and Kenny, I thank you guys again. Bogies for Breakfast Show, head over there. Thank you all the OCMG. I actually put this note in here because I have a good time with you guys. We battled. It was really hot out there. I mean, I'm not going to lie. A couple of the guys were like, we're done. And when I left there, it said it was 119 on the little thing in the car. You know, I know sometimes it runs a little bit hotter, but it stayed like that all the way till I got on the freeway and made it out to about Morongo when it finally started to drop back down to reality, like 110, you know, and started to drop a little bit. But it was super hot because I got home and it was still like 101 in Ontario. So, shout out OCMGA. You guys, you're all great. The next event, though, for us is the OC, the 4 Championship, Meadowlark Golf Club, August 17th, 2024. Coming up soon, guys, 8 a.m. Registration's going to be closing here real soon. So head over there if you want to register as a guest and just kind of come out and hang out and see if maybe it's something you want to get into. You're more than welcome to do that. And kind of go from there. NASCAR news. Now, this is going to be a fun one because I'm falling in love with this damn sport. And I don't know if it's just because there's not a lot of other stuff on right now and I'm getting the time to watch it. They're currently on their Olympic break, so they take a little break for the Olympics that's kicking off. But, dude, it's been so much racing drama, and I'm telling you, it's just like anything else. As soon as you start to get into it and you learn like the drivers and you start to learn like, oh yeah, number 5's Kyle Larson, this guy's, you know, and you start to, oh, that's Denny Hamlin, oh yeah, there's a lot of controversy because he, like, dude, it turns into like a guy's soap opera that turns into racing, that turns into like just crazy shit these guys go out and say on podcasts, and like there's a lot of drama because, you know, you think, okay, you're just racing around in a circle in a car, but if you watch the race, you'll start to be a little bit amazed at the way these cars maneuver and go around these tracks, dude. It's a little bit unbelievable, to be honest. Like, they're up to almost 200 miles an hour down some of these, and boom, they're on the brakes and they're cutting and they're turning and they're back on it, and they're so tight together. And one little bump and move. The other day I was watching a race, dude, and these guys they kept getting in. There was only like 6 laps to go, and I think we had to sit through like 4 or 5 cautions just to get through the Brickyard 400 down in Indianapolis. Wow, dude. Okay? So I'm really getting into it, guys, and if you want, I like to do it on the Duntown Show on IG, Sunday NASCAR stories. So please go check that out. I'll post up typically when the race is going to start, and I'll do like a little flyer with it if I can, or sometimes if the race has already kicked off, I'll just get in there and I'll show you who's in the lead, and I'll film the cars going around a little bit. It's nothing spectacular, nothing crazy, but if you want to just get a little glimpse into what it's kind of like, I guarantee you'll be sitting at home for some reason one day on a Sunday and just be like, shit, you know what, let me kick it on and just see. And even if you sat through the final 50 laps or the final 25 laps, whatever you want to do, you'll really get to see like, oh wow, they break down the races into segments, and then, you know, there's a whole points thing, and they go into playoffs and all of that. So check it out, man. The Indianapolis Brickyard 400 was, it's the famous place with the brick starting line where they kiss the line. You know, it's a big deal. The winner, number 5, Kyle Larson, he did take it, and he's a double driver. He does the F1 and he does NASCAR, and he actually back in May was racing in Indianapolis for the Indianapolis 500, and then was going to finish that race and fly to Charlotte, North Carolina, and race NASCAR like at the halfway point, team driver, and switch and race both types. But unfortunately the weather got too bad and he wasn't able to do it, or he would have been like the first ever to race 2 types of race cars in 2 different locations in one day. So for him to be able to go back to Indianapolis in a NASCAR and win it is pretty awesome, because the people there fucking love this guy now, dude. So check that shit out. If you get into it, I think you'll really enjoy it. After the Olympic break, guys, their next race is going to be the Cookout 400, Richmond, Virginia, and that's going to be August 11th at 3 p.m. Don't miss the action, because anytime you got a race named the Cookout 400, oh Lord Jesus Christ, oh Lord, kill 'em, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be tuning into that. Did you hear this? This is a segment we're going to try and start, guys. Did you hear this? And, or did you know, or did you hear, or something? We're just going to bring a little bit of light to a couple of things as we start to close out our show. Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags to merge and create a dual park pass. They have big plans to add additional attractions to the 2 existing parks here in California, that being Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags. But then they're going to do a collaborative park that'll be under the Six Flags name, and put them all throughout the United States and start this whole new amusement park. And I know for a fact California will probably even get one of the new parks as well. So if you want to look and read into a little bit more of that, dude, I was tripping out on it, because you can now possibly do the dual park pass. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. So if I have a few kids, whatever, that are into that thing, maybe they're getting a little bit older and they want to start going to Six Flags, but they like, you know, now you can have that park hopper, or whatever they're probably going to call it, and you could just go to either one, dude, and walk around, check them out. I haven't been to Six Flags since, shit, I don't even remember, dude. I was like maybe 5th grade, and I was a bigger kid. I don't think I fit on Batman, so I never went back. Is that where Batman is? Or was it the Joker or something like that? Am I even at the right theme park? Or is that, no, that's Universal? I don't know. I don't fit on any rides anywhere, dude. Let it go, bud. But yeah, check that out. Also, the Orange County Fair right now is open, guys, July 19th through August 18th. Tickets are now available. They have them on sale right now online. You can go get it. Get it while you can. If you didn't make it to the LA County Fair where I had the giant corn dog, maybe you could go to the Orange County Fair and get the giant corn dog. Dude, get yourself the giant corn dog. I think I have a picture of it. If I do, I'll post it, because that thing was that fucking long, dude. Okay. Appreciate you guys coming out today. Episode 20. Again, big changes coming up, guys. I hope this episode was okay for you. I didn't get too extreme. I tried to keep it mellow. All right. I didn't want to wake the baby. If you have a baby sleeping in the other room, I don't. That's why I can be as loud as I want. But Miller Lite is still the GOAT, and we gotta go. Says it right here. We'll see you guys. Thanks.